All right, all right, all right. Welcome to Sideboard MTG. We've got another Devs deck for you guys tonight. This is Blue-White Quasiduplicate. Hope you guys enjoy the show. If you do, don't forget to hit that like button. Helps the channel out a lot. Doesn't cost you a thing. And if you want to see more of Devs decks and more content in general, gameplay, whether it's Arena or Magic Online, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also, if you want to play this deck or any other deck in Magic, manatraders has got you covered. If you still have a MTGO collection, or you want to supplement that collection, or you don't have an MTGO collection and you don't feel like buying into one, right now is a great time to be using manatraders. I know a lot of people are a little bit worried about MTGO, so instead of investing in a collection there, maybe you want to rent. manatraders got you covered. If you do sign up, Sideboard MTG Black is your coupon code to save 15% on your first 3 months. So not a bad deal. Use the link in the description box. Let's play Magic. What is this? What is this? My bad. What's up, everyone? How's everyone doing? Trying to get everything started here. So MTGO is going to be fine. I think so too. I think so too. You know, at first I was like, I don't know. But then the more I play Arena, the more I'm like, MTGO is going to be just fine. Anyway, we're going to be playing Dev's Quasiduplicate deck. Now, Jizza, as far as I know, the best Quasiduplicate deck that I have run across, and I actually think the deck's pretty good, is the blue black, right? But a lot of people have seen this deck. A lot of people are playing around with this deck. This deck's, showed up a little bit in tournaments, 5-0 list and things like that. But it's definitely on the radar, and there's some people out there having a lot of fun with this deck. So people are playing these decks. And I think that's one of the reasons Dev brought us his version of Quasiduplicate. And I actually think this version is going to get a little bit better, if for no other reason than we're just going to get the lands come next set. So, that will... that'll be a thing. I really don't think so, Steven. I don't think so. I think we got at least another year to 2 years before it really starts taking a huge plummet. Like, yeah, there's some like snap reactions on MTGO right now, but I think until next rotation, when they start doing like standard plus or modern light, whatever they want to call it, I think that might be the nail in the coffin for MTGO. But as long as like Channel Fireball and TCG Player and Star City Games, and the GPs and everything still have modern events, there's going to be a lot of people who really care about modern, and Arena just isn't built to support modern. So until that happens, when Arena can start to support modern, then MTGO is still going to be a thing. So I don't think that we're gonna have like a huge problem yet. Yeah, exactly. I'm watching out for that new modern. If the new modern, like if that format really takes off and it's arena based, then I'm gonna worry about MTGO. But until then, I personally think like as far as like what like we need to do as a community or as a stream or as people in general playing Magic is continue doing what you're doing on MTGO. If you rent, if you have a collection, you ain't gotta go sell your collection, whatever. But as time goes on, like actually right now is a good time to buy a collection, because like you can buy an entire collection, like you can buy like everything you need for standard for just pennies on the dollar on MTGO. So it's pretty sweet. I think like this entire deck only costs $4 or $5 on Magic Online. It's not very expensive. So anyway, like that's my feelings on it. Like as of right now, I'm going to start like phasing in more Arena. Not necessarily phasing out more MTGO, but I'm going to start like just putting more Arena into my weekly content, and just kind of going from there. As I build a collection and stuff. If the day comes, I want to be ready, and then if it doesn't come, then we just keep doing both. I mean, just play Magic, right? So that's my plans on Arena, MTGO, that sort of thing. Also, I've got some plans for next April when we get back to Dallas to do some live Magic. Like I want to do some traveling the first year that I get to Dallas. and hit up all the different magic shops there in Dallas, and maybe do some video coverage of going to this magic shop and going, okay, like this is what my experience was like, that sort of thing. I think some people would like it, so I'm just gonna have to learn to do some editing, right? Recording and editing, no. Yeah, right. Farmers Branch. I'm gonna be moving to an area in Farmers Branch. I think it's like northeast Dallas, something like that. It might be northwest. I don't know. But yeah, we've got some family out there, so we're gonna be moving to be closer to my wife's family and stuff. So in Houston, come on down. I'm sorry, it was a Price is Right thing went through my head there, but yeah. So at that point, I also plan to go to full-time streaming. So streaming anywhere between 4 to 8 hours a day, something like that, instead of just nightly shows. See, her grandparents live in Fort Worth, so I like that area. That area is pretty nice. Like one of the best parts about going to Fort Worth is you get to go see Grandpa, and then you go to the gun range, right? Oh man, I love Texas. Texas is pretty sweet. So anyway. The price is wrong, Bob. It's Drew. It's Drew. Drew Carey. All right. The only man who really said, you know what? I'm going to rock these BCs after the military. He kept rocking his BCs. So, mind if you do a shameless plug? I'll go for it, man. Plug away. You know how many people plug their Reddit decks on here? Go for it. Is it Magic related? If it's Magic related, I don't mind at all. But go for it. Texas rules, others rules, yeah. Lots of Texans here. Houstonians rule. Wow. There's a lot of people. Texas is a big state. A lot of people from Texas, so. Also, a lot of good LGSs in the area. Good. Well, I'm going to be hitting you guys up because I want to, like, you guys give me your opinions. And the plan is every Friday I'm going to hit up a new LGS until I find the one that I want to call home. So, yeah, like I can't wait to get back into Paper Magic. Oh my goodness, it has been such a nightmare to be out of Paper Magic. I also want to continue down the judge path. I am a level 1 judge, so I want to continue down that path a little bit and go a little bit further. So Jimmy Wong Guide to Arabica pre-release. Okay. All right. Oh, Ravnica. Okay. Ravnica pre-release. Jimmy Wong. I like Jimmy. I think Jimmy's pretty cool. So, that's pretty cool. Anyway, yeah. That's the plans for the next couple months. What we're going to be doing. So everything else is just going to kind of revolve around, kind of making all of those things happen. So will I stream any local paper events in the future? That's the plan. As I'm going to these shops, I want to see if I can set up a camera and have it set up and then maybe stream my entire F&M or something like that. If I have the means to make it happen, I'll make it happen. That's kind of the idea for that show. It will be April before we get started on that, maybe even a month after that, because we're actually moving in April, so that sort of thing. But that's too much information for today. Let's talk about Dev's deck, because that's what you guys are here for, right? You're here for Dev's deck. Now this one has way too many rares in it to hit the 12 rare cutoff for Corbin's stream or whatever. So, we've got 18 rares, so we're a little bit too much on that. A lot of people don't want to spend their wild cards on Bishop of Binding, like Deb said. That sort of thing. Yes, people are going to buy the Glacial Fortresses, so you can kind of count them, but not count them. I think everybody should just go ahead and get all the lands while you're, just make sure you have all the lands before the next set comes out, that sort of thing. Some people may already have their copies of Quasiduplicate, and then at that point, this becomes pretty cheap. Pick up a couple Warkite Marauders and some Bishops of Rebirth, Bishops of Binding, kind of go from there. Everything else, uncommons and commons. So I do want to mention that if you watch Dev's deck tech and you click the link in his description box, which is the first link in my description box as well, it is Dev's link to take you to Dev's TCG player page where he'll get the credit for that. So if you want to click that, go check that out, do that. But then click the next link if you actually want to download the deck to upload it on MTGA or MTGO, because that link that Dev has 16 islands in it, right? I know some of you might have noticed it, some of you might not. I went through the comments. A lot of people just didn't mention it, but his deck list says 16 islands. If you go back and watch his deck tech, he said 10 islands and 6 planes. So I went with what he said in the deck tech. Okay, maybe it is supposed to run on 16 islands, but I think with all of these white sources here, we need those planes. So I went with 6 planes and 10 islands, which is what he showed on screen for the deck tech. So for those of you that might want to jump onto me later, this is what he showed on screen. I do watch the videos, and I think this is how we're supposed to be running it. So that's how we're going to run it. So if you do go check his link and you see 16 islands, there you go. All right, so let's talk about Quasiduplicate, right? Quasiduplicate is a sorcery speed card that basically clones your creature for you. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control. Now, granted, you don't get to quasi their stuff. You don't get to copy their awesome stuff. But by the way, I want to run this in Grixis with Angraft. You take their Niv Mizzet, you copy their Niv Mizzet, and then you kill their copy of Niv Mizzet, and then you're left with a Niv Mizzet. I want to do some crazy crap like that. I think that would be awesome. But anyway, Quasiduplicate says that you get to copy a creature you control, and then you've got Jumpstart on it. So later you throw away a land and you just cast this thing again. So naturally, creatures with Enter the Battlefield triggers, creatures that are just powerful in general, normally what you're wanting to copy. So as far as Enter the Battlefield triggers go, we've got some pretty sweet ones. My favorite is Merfolk Trickster. A lot of you guys know that I love the mono blue tempo deck. It's one of my favorite decks of the season, and I just really like the way it plays. It matches my play style, and I really like mono blue, and I've been doing really well with it on Arena. Merfolk Trickster, that's a carryover from the mono blue decks. It has a great Enter the Battlefield trigger. It's just 2 blue. We're already set to try to hit double blue because of Quasiduplicate, so hitting double blue shouldn't be a big deal. And when it enters the battlefield, target creature, when Merfolk Trickster enters the battlefield, tap target creature an opponent controls, it loses all abilities until end of turn. And that seems really sweet. We can just, sorcery speed copies of this isn't like the greatest thing in the world, but when we're trying to put a bunch of creatures down and we're wanting to get in, just tapping down a blocker seems like the way to go. Now, that's not the only way we can do that. We could also copy a Tempest Caller and tap down a blocker from there, or tap down all of their blockers. Like Deb said, though, be wary of that backswing because this is not sleep. They are going to untap, and if you turned all of your dudes sideways, you might want to make sure that you're going to hit that finishing blow there. Otherwise, that backswing could get bad. Now, this doesn't target their creatures, so you can tap down like Carnage Tyrants and things like that and get through. Now, we can copy Exclusion Mages, which copying an Exclusion Mage is pretty sweet because, you're bouncing their dude. You already have an Exclusion Mage on the battlefield, so, you're just kind of going through, through that. What are the best cards to copy? Ravenous Chupacabra. Militia Bugler is pretty good. Now, this is just straight card advantage. When he enters the battlefield, we're going to look at the top 4 cards of our library, and we can reveal a creature card with power 2 or less and put it into our hand. So we've got quite a few hits here on Militia Bugler. We can pick our Adanto Vanguard, which doesn't have an Enter the Battlefield trigger, but it's just a really hardy creature. So if we've got multiple copies of this, we're swinging in. As long as our life total is not in danger, we're making sure that this thing doesn't die. Militia Bugler can pick up, Tricksters, Tempest Caller, Exclusion Mage, Merfolk Trickster, Bishop of Binding, which we'll talk about in a moment, and the only miss that you really have on your creatures is your Bishop of Rebirth. So, I mean, you've got 21 creatures that you can hit in this deck with your Militia Bugler. I guess technically 20 creatures because you're casting one of those creatures, right? Like, you have to be casting a Militia Bugler, so you've got 20 other creatures in the deck it could hit, including other copies of itself, that sort of thing. And then for removal, we've got Baffling In, and we've got Ixalan's Binding as far as like enchantment based, true removal. Then we have Bishop of Binding. Okay, so when Bishop of Binding enters the battlefield, exile target creature an opponent controls until Bishop of Binding leaves the battlefield. Whenever Bishop of Binding attacks, target vampire gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the power of the exiled card. So this is a vampire. You can give that buff to itself. You do have to attack with it to get that buff, but you don't have to do anything with it to just exile their creature. Now, I do want to point out that, if you hit something like a Wild Growth Walker that already had 10 counters on it, while it's exiled and under the Bishop of Binding, it's only going to have one power, so you're not going to be getting a lot of buff on that. But if they do remove your Bishop of Binding, then it'll re-enter the battlefield with no counters on it, so you did at least do that. However, if you hit something like a Jade Light Ranger, you're going to give them a lot of free triggers, so be wary about what you want to do there. Now, you guys are talking about like copying Carnage Tyrant and stuff. I started watching this video last night, and I was playing around with the idea of a green-blue quasi-duplicate deck, because there's a ton of green creatures that I would love to copy. And I think the Carnage Tyrant, Wild Growth Walker, Jade Light Ranger, there's just so many awesome green creatures that I wouldn't mind copying. Start playing. Knight of Grace. All right, so the sideboard, we've got some other pretty cool tech here. We've got Shieldmare, which is it's good against a red deck. I mean, yeah, it dies to absolutely everything, but Shieldmare's it's not bad. It's not a bad card. Gives us some life. We get to swing in past red deck, but most of the time red deck ain't really worried about blocking anyway. We get Knight of Grace. Knight of Grace is really sweet against decks with black removal. We've got Entrancing Melody, which is probably one of the best cards at stealing a Danto Vanguard, or you take a Wild Growth Walker after they've buffed it up, or you take their Johnny's Pride Mate or something like that. We've got Exclusion Mage for the aggressive matchups, and doesn't die to shock. You got me, Jank. Negate. We've got 3 copies of Negate, and then we've got a singleton copy of Disdainful Stroke. So a little bit of counter magic there in the side, a little bit of control magic by gaining control of their creatures, that sort of thing. So pretty interesting little deck. Dev did say that it will take a skilled, focused pilot to be able to play it. So I'm probably going to do horrible. I've got the focus part, right, as far as like focused on stream, but I don't know about the skill part. We'll see. Bob is just a 4-mana ring that's easy to get rid of. Yes, Bishop of Binding is an O-ring. Yes. Copying a Beast Whisper. Sounds interesting. I like where you guys are going with that. You guys are brewing pretty hardcore on that. I was thinking like go back and take like the remnants of the green-blue Karn deck, green-blue Karnstructs, and like try to run something along those lines. I know you're missing a lot of cool cards that rotated out, but I think that would probably be a pretty sweet route to take. Man, all the Meandering Rivers. Oh, just imagine if these were Shocklands. Well, we can Meandering River on 1. We can get into a Warkite Marauder on 2, start doing things, and then we have Merfolk Trickster as a little bit of backup, and then kind of Ixalan's Binding, whatever. It's not a horrible hand. I think I'll keep it. We only need 2 like good mana, and we get to bring that in untapped. So we can be untapped on 2, and that's like the main reason I'm going to keep this hand. Lazy deck? Maybe, I don't know. Focus then, right? Shut up and focus. Right. See, that's what I want to do. Is I want to quasi duplicate all of the. Let's go for this. Quasi duplicate all of the explore creatures. Right. Copy a Jade Light. Copy Merfolk Branchwalker. Well, not Merfolk Branchwalker. Probably not. I don't want to pay 3 mana to make a 2 mana dude, unless it's like Wild Growth Walker or something, and then I'm gonna like play a Jade Light from my hand or something. So. But you're talking about like 6 mana plays, and in those cases, isn't it better to just play a Carnage Tyrant? So, I don't know. Copy a Fine Broker. That seems like good value, right? That seems like good value. But the problem is then you're trying to go like double blue, double green, double black, and that can be a little problematic. Alright, so let's go ahead and get in. So what are we worried about on turn 3? Like, am I safe to get a Danto Vanguard down here? I think I am. I think as far as turn 3 goes, we're just kind of worried about like Jade Light. Isn't that the big deal here on turn 3? Maybe Brontodon or something. I think that we need to be aggressive, right? Like, it's kind of supposed to be like this little aggressive deck that happens to get like extra value out of having Quasi Duplicate laying around. So, although right now we don't have our best cards to copy, so I basically just want to copy Militia Bugler a whole bunch. That's what I really want to do with this deck. I just want to copy Militia Bugler a lot, like over and over and over. Reap the card value and play Magic. You want to swing? Come on. Yeah. You get in there, opponent. You get in there. No, come on, man. And here comes the Jade Light. Oh, it's a Midnight Reaper. Alright, so what we're going to do here is we're going to let him block. Oh, wait. No, 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 no. Do I pay 4 life for this? Maybe. I think I do. I think I pay 4 life here. Like, the thing is we take Midnight Reaper and we, like, make sure it has, like, no abilities. So we will remove its abilities. So we don't want our opponent drawing additional cards. And then, depending on how our opponent blocks, which he might snap off the block here against Adanto, but he's not going to get to draw that extra card. Alright, so we'll pay for it. And then... Alright, so he gets nothing out of that. Am I willing to take the hit for 3 here? I may just trade Merfolk Trickster for this Midnight Reaper. Or tap down whatever he blocks. But he could just play his why Workite? What counter we got? Counters in the sideboard. But Workite means that we get to like turn Midnight Reaper into a 0/1, and like things that don't have +1/+1 counters on them, we can just break their heart. So Workite's a pretty good card. Oh, he's gonna do it. Oh, he's gonna do it. Alright, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna trade my Merfolk Trickster for that Midnight Reaper. And again, we removed all abilities from the Midnight Reaper. So our opponent's not drawing an additional card here. And then whatever he follows up with, Ixalan's binding that. And then just kind of try to ride it home. Oh, he's going to contempt my... Oh, he contempted it. That's exile. Cannot make it indestructible through exile, so that's a thing. Okay, well, so I guess we just go Meandering River. Do we copy Quasiduplicate here? Or like, do we Quasiduplicate a Workite Marauder and then we just start turning everything into nothings? So we play around Vivian by copying this, right? Because if Vivian down ticks, then we get to actually like smack Vivian back, and we'll still have Quasiduplicate in the graveyard to copy something else sweet later. So I think that this is the best way to play around Vivian, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to play around Vivian Reed, because if she comes down ticks, and we don't have anything, then we're having to Ixalan's Binding Vivian, which might also be like the way to go. But I also think that we need to stay like fairly aggressive, so I think we copy it here. Like we have an answer for Vivian, but pushing four damage a turn seems pretty sweet too. And if he plays something like a Jade Light Ranger, I would love to put the Ixalan's Binding on the Jade Light. However, then like future Vivians are able to eat the Jade Light Ranger, that sort of thing. So our future Vivians would be able to eat the Ixalan's Binding, and then things would not be so sweet for us from there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need some card draw. Need a little bit of card draw. So what's he got going on here? Cast down. Shot down the copy too. Okay. So our opponent's stuck on mana here. He did not make his 5th land drop. Which makes me want to Binding his elf. I know that seems bad, but no, I don't think he would have used a cast down on our Workite Marauder if like if he just knew that he had a Ritual of Soot coming. Like yeah, like yeah, no Ritual of Soot, because I don't think that you fire off cast down if you have a way to, you know, just take an extra 2 points of damage and then like wipe the board. I don't think you go there, but right. So he did draw a land. We got to worry about this Carnage Tyrant, ladies and gentlemen. Like this is going to be mean. Well, okay. So I was trying to buy yet another turn without seeing Carnage Tyrant. He did have a land. He would have been willing to pay 2 if he was about to just drop a Carnage Tyrant. I also don't think he has Vivian in hand, because Vivian would have been like, it would have been a perfect excuse to just, you know, pop an Ixalan's Binding. However, he would have lost his Vivian to the Workite Marauder. I mean, there's a ton of lines, in this deck. All right, so we'll drop this Adanto. Go ahead and get in for a little bit more damage. Just that slow death of 1,000 cuts. I'm doing it. I'm going to make the most use out of my mana. We're going to copy an Adanto Vanguard and try to push some major damage here. I think that we play around like kill spells like you know, Ravenous Chupacabra and things like that by copying the Adanto Vanguard. Like I think that overall that shortens our clock, and like I'm just expecting like Ravenous Chup. See, it's just a silly Chupa Chupa. Right. Okay. There goes Chupacabra. I mean, we're going to hit him for 3, and he's hitting us for 4. It's not a great exchange, but I'll take it. Could have copied the flyer. The flyer is more susceptible to dying. But it would have also meant that Choop couldn't block, and we wouldn't have him take the damage. We'd have still been where we're at. Yeah, like that's what I was saying. Like, we could copy both things, but this survives Ritual of Soot, survives Ravenous Chupacabra, doesn't give him an easy, hit for Vivian Reed. This is, I don't know. Fine Finale would be a nightmare. Doesn't matter what we would have copied there, though. Let's see what happens. I think he's casting a Fine right now. He is. He's getting back a Seeker Squire and a Ravenous Chupacabra. So here comes Seeker Squire. Game 1 rush. We just kind of got into it, buddy. Hey, Barry. Welcome to the party. Julio. What's up? No, we're still in game 1, match 1, buddy. Ended up against the old Golgari Menace, which he's getting his lands now, so that makes me expect oh man, that's probably the best thing we could have drew right there. This way we don't even have to pay. We don't even have to pay life, and we get in for the full 6. So now he needs to have another copy of Fine Finale, and then cast the finale part of it, or he's going to be in a lot of problems. I'm saying you have a copy of the Menace. It's the fairest deck in the format, so yeah, it's a Menace. Like, it's just too fair. It's not doing anything like stupid broken, but everything it does is pretty much the top of the curve of what you could be doing. Reminds me of the old Abzan Siege Rhino decks. Maybe not that powerful, but it reminds me of the old Abzan Siege Rhino decks. Alright, so the opponent's in a little bit of trouble here. Carnage Tyrant does not save him. Finale will. Like, if the opponent has a Finale, then... See, that doesn't save him either. We do have to pay 4 life to keep an Odonto Vanguard alive. We have to keep both Odontos alive to make this work. He doesn't even want to push my damage. All right. There's a Seeker Squire. All right. Well, here we go. He got a Swamp. I think I pay 8. Sounds silly, but I'm going to pay 8. Luckily, he was tapped out, or we wouldn't have been able to do that. If he would have had like Cast Down Up or something like that, then paying 8 would have been really dangerous, because I would have paid 4 life, and then in response to that trigger, he would have, shot it, and then we would have been in some major trouble. I'm going to hang on to the Glacial Fortress for some fodder to pitch to Jumpstart in case we top deck a Quasiduplicate. There's a Memorial. Alright, so we can no longer protect our Odontos. Yes, good thing we copied Odonto with the Choops. I mean, it might have went differently, but I think that he would have killed the flyer anyway, so... aren't you grateful no Fatal Push? Fatal Push was a good card. Still a good card. Oh man, that's a... Fatal Push is right there with Lightning Bolt as being, too broken. right? Like it's a fair amount is one mana 2 damage, right? Shock is fair, which technically should mean that 2 mana or double red for 4 damage instant speed should be fair. But that's where you kind of get to the line where things get a little bit broken. What do you do here, opponent? Like dig for a 2 mana creature? Because he got a Wild Growth Walker. Wild Growth Walker does not save him here. He is at 3. I think we're waiting on our opponent to gather the information of what he's got in his hand and what's going on, and then he'll scoop. Okay, he's just dead on board. Maybe he might think, like, maybe I'll swing at Vivian, right? I give the opponent props for, you know, allow your opponent to make mistakes, so. Still got your promo pushes? Me too, sir. Me too. I ended up with 3 playsets of Fatal Push by the end of the format. I've got a playset of promos, and then I've got 2 playsets of regular Fatal Pushes. And, yeah, like, good cards, man. I had them because I had the mono black aggro in paper. Yeah, the devs, like, mono black aggro. I had that in paper, and then I had Fatal Pushes in my Grixis that I was running last season. Okay, so against I think Knight of Grace is like going to be pretty sweet here. Knight of Grace over Bishop of Binding. They've just got so much removal that I don't feel safe throwing Bishop of Binding down, because I don't feel like there's like a way to protect him, and a lot of their creatures have nice enter the battlefield triggers, so like just giving them like easy things to cast down to get a free Ravenous Chupacabra trigger or a free J-Light Ranger trigger or something, I'm not really interested in that against the Golgari matchup. So I'm going to take Bishop of Binding out for Knight of Grace, which is, you know, good against those black creatures. And then as far as Wild Growth Walker and things like that go, I am interested in 2 copies of Entrancing Melody. I wouldn't mind taking one of their dudes. Plus he's got Ravenous Chupacabra. There could be some like Disdainful Stroke, maybe, instead of the other Bishop of Rebirth. I'm good with that. I like the Disdainful Stroke. Yeah, stealing Pumped Wild Growth Walkers seems good. Stealing Ravenous Chupacabras, and then, like, I know that's a 6 mana play, and then the next turn you get to start copying it or whatever, but it could be a thing. Like, it could be a thing. Ooh, this could not be a thing. I mean, baffling in it is exactly what you want to see, but you also want to already have some power down. You want to be pushing damage against these Golgari decks. Like, to remove their creatures isn't enough, because remember, when you're playing against Golgari, you're always racing the Carnage Tyrant. That is the game plan. You have to race, and you have to beat the Carnage Tyrant. I'm going to put this on the bottom. We'll start with our Meandering River. We can follow it with an island, kind of go from there. So just hope we don't draw an island off the top. Nope, we did not. This hand looks a lot like the last one, doesn't it? I knew you'd see it my way, Madness. I knew you'd see it my way. Vivian Reed on top. Do you picture Vivian Reed? How bad do you need land? Not too bad, I reckon. Oh, man. Okay. Well, I am going to go ahead and start the game plan of Workite Maraudering. So I'm just going to Workite, and we're just going to start trying to get over in the air. So, power of the monoplanes. He's getting in there. We do not need additional mana this turn, so playing Meandering River seems good. I'm going to be trading the Merfolk Trickster for the Midnight Reaper, if possible. Otherwise, we're going to be trading it for a cast down. So I don't know exactly which one it's going to be, but we're going to be trading it for either a cast down or Midnight Reaper. Yes, good old Lincoln. It is still early in the night for him, so expect a little shouting from him. What's up, Justin? How you doing, sir? Right, so I think the opponent has cast down here. Doesn't change things. I'm still going to do this. Midnight Reaper is a very deadly card in the Golgari decks, as it's okay. So no cast down. It just gives them more card advantage and stuff. So Jade-Light Ranger, right? Starting to get to the point where I want to see an entrancing melody. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, so I'm going to go Meandering River. And I guess next turn we're stealing a Jade-Light Ranger. Seems good. Why not? Is Shalai in this deck? No, unfortunately not. You're going to get a top hat at some point. Am I going to get a top hat at some point? No. I don't know, maybe. I think that'd be cool. I'm definitely a hipster at heart, so. I mean, that's an Eldest Reborn. That's going to be a little bit of a problem. That's pretty sweet, everyone. Like, I think I hit the binding here, or the Eldest Reborn. I don't want him to get the extra value off of the Eldest Reborn. It's going to be a moment. Like, I'm going to have to take another hit. But then we steal the Jade-Light Ranger. I mean, I'm not going to 6 here. Like, we're not pushing enough damage, so we can deal with the Eldest Reborn, which I could have just discarded a card and went ahead and stolen the Jade-Light Ranger that turn and just discarded the Glacial Fortress. But I'm just... There's a Vivian Reed. And she pops Ixalan's Binding, and then we're just murdered. Oh, wow, she just killed the flyer. Okay. Alright, so we're going to 6 anyway. Or going to 4, I mean, taking 6. Alright, so we steal the Jade-Light Ranger. We have Tempest Caller. Alright, so we get a Jade-Light Ranger. Tempest Caller will be a decent blocker. So will Jade-Light. Jade-Light will actually help push damage. He'll have to consider whether or not he plays the Chupacabra in his hand to kill the Jade-Light. He probably doesn't have it, but after looking at 4 cards, he'll have it. Wild Growth Walker. Okay. There's Wild Growth Walker. Another Jade-Light. Now I feel bad for not using the Ixalan's Binding on the Jade-Light Ranger. Yeah. That's pretty brutal, opponent. Pretty brutal. Yeah. Probably going to game 3 here. Now our deck just looks like a weird merfolk deck. It does, doesn't it? I mean, we just die here. Yeah. Unfortunately. Maybe not. No, we don't have the land. We're one land short of being able to do both. So I have to Exclusion Mage. Bounce, what? Wild Growth Walker. Can't kill Vivian Reed, which means he down takes Vivian Reed, gets back Eldest Reborn, kills one of our dudes, swings through for lethal anyway. Yep. Yep. Dead on board. Like, there was just, he didn't need another card to be able to deal with every option we had, so. This deck feels like it's got a lot of Planeswalkers in it. I mean, maybe we just play it slower. Maybe we don't want Tempest Caller. We want the other... Like, Exclusion Mage is kind of dangerous, right? I'll take a negate. Alright, we'll go from there. Maybe we should be running Bishop of Rebirth, but I don't think that's where we need to be. I mean, it trades with Jadelight, but our 5 mana trading for their 3 mana, it's not the greatest thing in the world. So, Entrancing Melody? Yeah. XBB? No, it's XUU. Gain control of target creature with converted mana cost X. Yeah, it's a XUU. B is for black. Okay, not a horrible hand, not an aggressive hand at all, but not horrible. We do hit one more land. I mean, we're looking at going Exclusion Mage, Bugler, Tricksters. We do need to hit another blue source, but I don't think we can pass this up. You think ship it? Ryan says ship it. He's like, you can't cast any of this. Like, you can't do anything until turn 3, and you got to get lucky. We are on the draw. We do have a mulligan. Like, we do have a scry if we mulligan. So let's mulligan. Looks pretty close to the same. Only one big difference. We've got the Adanto Vanguard for a 2-drop. That makes the hand much better. And we've got this little bit of a scry here. Vivian makes Ixalan's Binding bad, right? But I do want a little bit of removal to go with this hand. I think I have to keep that Ixalan's Binding. We won't know until later down the road whether or not that was the big punt of the game. But yeah, the Adanto's Vanguard, Ryan, that made the hand much better. So I agree with your decision to ship it. Like, I don't think that us maybe starting on turn 3 is where we want to be. So we do need to kind of hope for a land off the top, but we're in a good spot to get started at least. We get a land in at least the next 2 turns, and we should be able to, you know, put forth a formidable assault. I didn't expect him to block. You hate blue-white? You want to barf every time you draw a card? We draw a card? Says the man who plays Jun. He plays all the colors except for blue-white. Spoken like a true Rakdos cultist. Alright. There's the contempt. And down this road we go. So, next turn, if we top deck the land, keeping the Ixalan's Binding was a mistake. At this point, keeping the Ixalan's Binding was a mistake. We just... if we miss one more land drop, then that's going to be pretty big. If we don't, then we could... Yeah. I mean, that was a good draw. If we were going to draw anything, that one wasn't bad, but we really need to be getting into these exclusion mages, make him spin. Like, I would love to hit a blue source off the top. It came in untapped, cast exclusion mage, bounce that Doom Whisper, him spend the next like 3 or 4 turns trying to resolve a Doom Whisper while we're beating him in the face with Wartime Marauders. Like, that would be terrific. That's probably not going to happen. You're a Golgari player. You and Reed Duke, sir. You should watch a lot of Reed Duke content. He is, in my opinion, one of the best Golgari players that we have around right now. Like, modern, legacy, vintage, whatever. He is a Golgari mage. I mean, even he'll say that. Alright, well, you know, it was fun, guys. Like, this first game was a lot of fun. But I don't think we were winning that, whether or not I would have kept the Ixalan's Binding or not. We're just way too far behind, just not hitting the land. So, yeah, Reed Duke is a great Magic player. So I enjoy watching his content. Anytime I get a chance to watch his content, I do. So, Rush says he is happy we're getting our butts handed to us. Well, Dev said in his video that you got to be a really skilled Magic player to be able to play this deck, and I am clearly not skilled enough to draw a land off the top. I just not good at Magic today, guys. I can't help it. Okay, so the Ixalan's Binding was not a punt. It just didn't matter. The next 5 cards in our deck were non-land. So, yeah. Doing a Mythic Grind stream tonight? Yes, I am, Steven. After this, I'm going to take the stream down, of course. I'll take the stream down, of course, and then we'll take a... Like, I've already got everything set because, like, I'm just going to keep using the same thumbnail for this week, and I'm just going to do a new thumbnail every week. So, like, our Mythic Grind this week's going to be on this thumbnail, and then, you know, next week I'll move to a different thumbnail and that sort of thing. But just having that same thumbnail already built means that it'll be really easy for me to switch the stream over to, you know, like from, you know, a Debs deck stream into an Arena stream, because I don't want to just go from a Debs deck and then just start streaming Arena, and then it all just ends up in one long, you know, video. The first hour of that video is cut off and people can't see the Debs deck. I'm not even talking to you guys about that hand. We're scooping, or we're mulliganing that. This is keepable. This is definitely keepable. But anyway, so yeah. We have to do the break here on YouTube, so yeah, I'm going to keep this. Trickster on top. 2 drops for days. Yeah, I'm leaving that. 2 drops for days. I mean, those are instant speed 2 drops. We get to sit back and, hey, look what we're playing against. Because that's cool. I want to give him something he can kill. Personally, blue may be the weakest color. Yeah, when you're adding it to other things, maybe. But I think by itself, blue is in a really, really good spot. So, I don't know. Alright, what are we worrying about this coming turn? A Jade Light? I think we can deal with a Jade Light. Just a Branch Walker. Sweet. Does get that +1/1 counter though. That's a little bit annoying. Red is your least favorite? Understood. A lot of people don't like red decks. Alright. Wild Growth Walker. Joke's on him. Ha ha. He's set up for that super turn 4 play. Esper's your favorite? I'm Izzet at heart, and then I really like Grixis or Teamer. So like anything you can really like do with Izzet, I'm pretty fond of that. I think I get to swing with everything, and then I use the ability on the Seeker Squire. This makes Seeker Squire a 1/2, and then like if he blocks the Merfolk, yeah, well, then we just make this trade. That's no big deal. Yeah, that's no big deal. Jade Light Ranger. Ranger danger. Ranger danger. Ravenous Chupacabra has entered the revealed zone. Do you put that into your graveyard? Or do you leave it on top? Come on, untapped land off the top. Come on, that's what we need. Just untapped land off the top. Let's do this. Come on. Sure. Doesn't matter because we're not swinging with a Merfolk Trickster. A Danto Vanguard could block and kill either of them. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. As long as he doesn't have another Explore creature, we're okay. Alright. Alright, Choop. Yeah, I figured that's where the Choop would be heading. Which is cool. He might even feel like he can attack here, which would be great for us. Oh my goodness. Bugler. So if we copy Merfolk Trickster, we get to tap down Jadelight Ranger. Copying Merfolk Trickster means that we tap down Jadelight Ranger, right? And then we swing. We get to swing with both. I mean, but he just chump blocks the Merfolk Trickster, and then he trades a Danto for Ravenous Chupacabra. I don't want him to trade. I don't want him to use the Ravenous Chupacabra for the trade, right? I want him to either lose a Wild Growth Walker or a Jadelight Ranger. Don't want him to just get that free trade off of Ravenous Chupacabra. So that's why I'm going to copy Merfolk Trickster. I'm going to tap down the Ravenous Chupacabra so he can't use that as a blocker. This way, if he wants to save damage here, he's forced to actually to block with either Wild Growth Walker or Jade Light. So, there we go. Luckily, you saw my username. What? Didn't even realize what time it was. I'm trying to be a focused pilot. Like, I felt that as Dev was saying in that video, right, where he was like, you got to be a focused pilot to be able to play this deck. I felt that he was talking to me. Land off the top. Come on, we just need to land off the top. That's all we're looking for. We'll be able to Ixalan's Binding, you know, his... Yes! Don't have a Vivian Reed. Just don't do it, opponent. Alright. Golgari is popular. Yes, Golgari is... Damn it, opponent. Oh. He upticked. Ooh. He's got a Memorial to Folly. We hit land, which means Militia Bugler into 2-drop. Alright, what do we get? What do we get? Militia Bugler into Militia Bugler? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of advantage we're looking for. He's still digging. What do you got? Merfolk Branchwalker. Okay. Alright, Branchwalker. Do we bind, like, Bishop of Binding here? That's good. Oh, that's good. So we can do 4. No, it's not good. I mean, we can do Militia Bugler and another 3-drop. Oh, perfect. See? Now we're talking, ladies and gentlemen. Now we are a-talking. We're cooking with fire. I mean, do we attack him or do we attack Vivian? I'll attack him this turn. He may down-tick Vivian, but he could do that even if I hit it for 2, and it would still live. So I'm going to try to, like, pressure him by... I mean, he can down-tick Vivian, get his Wild Growth Walker back, play the Merfolk Branchwalker that we just put back into his hand, and then we have to... He's not doing it. He is not doing it, ladies and gentlemen. Land off the top means we can deal with 2 creatures. That's not bad. I will take a land. Maybe I should have got a blue, but like I don't think it. Oh, damn. All right, so he was sitting there holding. Okay, that's a problem. Oh, come on. This is why. This is why. Because against all of the other decks in the format, you need enchantment-based removal. And enchantment-based removal versus Golgari is like the worst thing in the world. Oh, this is just so bad. Another land off the top. Bounce, bounce, kill. He's back to 16 life. Bounce. Who wants to be a boss? Just do it. Thank you, Barry Drake. I appreciate that, sir. I am sure the rest of chat appreciates it as well. I mean, we have to swing at Vivian here. Like, do I just quasi-duplicate another exclusion mage? Or do we get in with Bishop of Binding? Yeah, I mean, if we're going to just be taking something that doesn't have an enter the battlefield trigger, I'm okay with that on the Bishop of Binding. So I'm just going to take the Wild Growth Walker here. I know he's got another one available, but yeah, so we'll take the Wild Growth Walker. And then get in. Madness is like, me, ooh, pick me, I'll take it. Get over here. Alright, so at Vivian, I mean, Vigilance is pretty sweet, right? And Madness has taken the stream boss. Barry, Madness, both of you, thank you very much. I appreciate it, guys. Alright, so I'm going to keep the land for Quasiduplicate next turn. We're not out of this. We're not out of this. You have 18 cent. Oh, dude. Dude, Madness. I don't know what to say, sir. Don't know what to say. Alright, so he's going to get both of his Wild Growth Walkers back. Vivian found a Ravenous Chupacabra. Oh, you get paid like 3 hours. Okay, that... I definitely feel better about that. He's hitting the Militia Bugler, which was kind of what I wanted to be copying. Alright, so let's do that. Let's Baffling in this Wild Growth Walker. Quasi-duplicate on a Ravenous Chupacabra does not sound like where I want to be in Magic right now, right? Like, or sorry, on Exclusion Mage to bounce a Ravenous Chupacabra just so that he can replay it. That is not where I want to be in Magic. Oh. Oh. Let's give him a Dino. It's better than giving him a... It's better than giving him a Wild Growth Walker, I think. I mean, if I Exclusion Mage bounce a Dino, it's gone forever, so... I don't want to play Exclusion Mage to give him a kill spell. I just don't want to do it. Oh, I don't want to do it. Yeah, this went bad real quick. Right, isn't that basically... It's not a good play. It's not where we want to be at all. Like, that's... This is... Alright, I'm just going to kill a Chup. Alright, so we'll kill a Chup, and then we just got to pray for something better off the top to copy. Yeah. It's not pretty right now. I would settle for like taking a couple hits from Ravenous Chupacabra and this Midnight Reaper, and just getting an Ixalan's Binding off the top. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, the opponent just got a Jade Light Ranger back from his graveyard with Memorial to Folly. He's playing a Wild Growth Walker. He's going to follow up with a Jade Light Ranger, which could get him another land. That should get him into being able to play the Midnight Reaper. And then this went south real quick. This went real bad south real quick. Dev, I know you said you got to be a skilled pilot, and I probably made 1,000 punts in here that I'm just not good enough to see. But man, beating this Golgari deck seems pretty hard right now. I mean, I know it's the best deck in the format. We're playing with a $40 budget deck, but skill or no skill, I don't know if you could skill your way through this this matchup. Maybe you could. But. Right, Merfolk Wizards could be a thing. Needs settle. It needs something. Definitely needs something. Especially if you're trying to be like really tempo, where you're making copies of things that are bouncing stuff back to their hand. You're using your enchantments and stuff to remove their creatures. Like, that's the kind of ideal spot you want to have Settle the Wreckage, right? I mean, he's playing around Settle. He's scared of Settle. He didn't ultimate. I'm scooping. I'm scooping. I'm scooping. I'm scooping. I'm not playing against this guy. Like, he's just going for win more. He had the win right there. I can't believe he didn't ultimate. Yeah. Next game. Alright, so we're going Knight of Grace, Entrancing Melody, Exclusion Mage. Actually, let's try the negates, right? Let's not go Exclusion Mage. Let's try more of a control style plan. I'm going to get rid of Bishop of Binding because I think that card's just kind of bad versus this particular matchup. I guess we get rid of Bishop of Rebirth, Bishop of Binding, Tempest Caller? Maybe not. Like, Tempest Caller is kind of like where we want to be able to swing in on those Planeswalkers. Like, you drop a Tempest Caller, you get to kill the Planeswalker, and you might take a little bit of a crackback, but that's okay. It's repeatable. Baffling In, we're not taking that out. Warkite Marauder gets over his entire board. He has to stop Warkite Marauder, or he's just, like, the clock starts at turn 2. Militia Bugler is just like card advantage, like we're wanting that. I mean, which Bishop of Rebirth would be card advantage as well. And I don't know. Maybe I just don't run 2 of the negates and just have 1 negate in there and a Disdainful Stroke. So, White Horse is pro red. The White Horse is pro red. So, like, I thought about the Entrancing Melody again because we tried that last time. Yeah. White Horse is pro red. Yeah. Yeah. Nothing in standard is pro blue. Green Horse is pro black. Red Horse is blue. Like, can't be blocked by blue. Can't be countered. The Red Horse is the one for blue. I'm not keeping this many land. I don't. Oh, Shieldmare is unblockable to red creatures, though. And we're mulligan again. Alright, this is our hand. This is what we've got. This is what we're doing. The opponent is also deciding whether or not to go to 5. He kept his 6 mana. Oh, I think I have to have it. So I'm going to keep that on top. We'll draw that extra land, get into our Ixalan's Binding. Maybe we can do some work. Okay, Murmuring River. Murmuring, whatever. We'll turn to an Adanto and go from there. Woosa. It's not you. It's colors of your deck. So breathe. Maybe. Well, we're gonna get to try our Merfolk Trickster trick again, but don't know how well that's going to work. Oh, that's sweet. I mean, he got a land, but he did get +1/+1 counters, which is pretty good. Alright, let's see what happens here. Does he block? He does snap off that block. Wrong phase. Need to be in my main phase. I know. Like, he can just remove the binding somehow, some way, but I really want to get rid of that. That danged old wild growth walker. You best bind that danged old wild growth walker. Yeah. Daggone wild growth walker. Gain 3 life every time I'm exploring my guy. What do you kill here? Yeah, that's what I thought. That's pretty good. Let's see if we can kill this Chook. I'm just dismembering everything. Dismember. I'm gonna go for the value. Give me a couple more options. Oh, look, more options. Mono Blue is a really good deck. Yeah, I don't know if anyone's like told you guys differently or something, but Mono Blue is like one of the best decks in Standard. It has a better game 1 than almost any other matchup in Standard. I think we just Warkite Marauder and a Knight of Grace, but I'm really worried about a Fine Finale. Like, Fine Finale would be so bad. What happens when I don't pay for it? I'm not going to pay for it again, though. Okay, so I'm not playing Warkite Marauder because I have to put the ability onto the stack. So I'm going to go Knight of Grace, Knight of Grace. Like, I don't want him to play a creature, and then just because I attack, I let him start drawing cards with my Warkite Marauder. I don't think that's where I want to be. Like, so it says whenever a creature he controls becomes the target of a spell or ability that I control, he may draw a card. And like, as soon as I declare attack with Warkite Marauder, then you just pop it now, and I need to wait till you've blocked. It's just all kinds of bad. I mean, he's killing something. I am going to play it now, though. Because if all goes well, we'll be just swinging for lethal, so... we'll see. We'll see how this works. I mean, he gets a free Wild Growth Walker back at command, so... Rush, where's your left hand? This will be a lot better with some histories in it. History's a good card. History's a really good card. Well, he dealt with our Warkite Marauder. Quasiduplicate. Make a copy of... Oh, yeah, baby. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, we've revealed it. He knows we've got it. Alright, here we go. Alright, so this will put the opponent at 5. We'll drop in Merfolk Trickster at the end of turn. He'll draw a card, but hopefully won't have like instant speed cards and things like that. So letting him draw a card doesn't make me feel as bad. There's Carnage Tyrant on top. He's revealed a Carnage Tyrant. He's leaving it up there. Atlanta War Elf. Right. He can't swing. Okay, so here we go. We let him draw all the cards. Merfolk Trickster. Tap down Jade Light Ranger. He draws a card. Jade Light's tap. Exclusion Mage. I'll play that. I mean, I just wanted to remove a blocker anyway. So I was just going to copy the Merfolk Trickster with the Quasiduplicate with whatever I drew, but Exclusion Mage happens to do it anyway. Don't have cast down. Don't have cast down. We lose. It was fun, though. It was a lot of fun. Such is life. Do we still have a way out of this? So next turn we Quasiduplicate, Exclusion Mage, put Jade Light Ranger back in hand, right? He has a Carnage Tyrant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so he'll have a Carnage Tyrant. Alright. Ooh, that's right. If you have Carnage Tyrant, you can't do anything about the Ixalan's binding. Don't play land. Don't play land. Don't play land. Okay. Merfolk Trickster or Exclusion Mage would work here. So it doesn't matter which one of these I bounce as long as I bounce one. So we'll bounce this one. We'll go to game 3. Wow. I guess we run it back, right? Hey, I'm trying to make decisions here, right? Like, just playing this deck is a little brutal. I mean, it's put in 1 Rebirth, Bishop of Rebirth. I'll take out a Tempest Caller, sure. I mean, I ain't opposed to it. What is the record so far? Well, we've lost 1 match versus Golgari. We are in match 2 also versus Golgari. Different player, maybe a slightly different deck, but it's still Golgari. So, you know, Explore Creatures, Wild Growth Walker, Carnage Tyrants, Vivians, all of the things. This is a bad hand. This is a bad hand. The amount of things that our opponent can do to us long before he gets to 5 mana or 4 mana. It's bad. That's bad. We can't keep. That's keepable. Does this hand have enough to like deal? Like, we are the control deck in this matchup if we keep this hand. Like, this hand will not play well to an aggressive strategy. We will have to be the control deck. So with that control plan, I think we want more control cards. So bottom, nah. Like, I think we're the control deck, and like we're gonna want every piece of control we can get our hands on. So don't forget last time. Well, last time we had 2 mana, and we needed to draw 2 more lands to be able to start working. Here we've got 3 mana, and we should be able to do things with this hand. This is not the same hand as we had last time. Like, this actually has playable spells in it, and it already has the 3rd land, which most of the deck turns on for 3 mana. So I'll take the risk. Midnight Reaper entered the revealed card zone. You want to pitch that Midnight Reaper? He did not. He just kept it. I'm just going to Exclusion Mage this, bounce it. It makes him just replay. Like, he didn't get a land off of it. He wanted the card that he has in his hand, so it doesn't make me think that he's like in a hurry to get lands. Does he just... Oh, he blocks. He just wants a card. Wow, he's just going to take a card. That seems okay to me. This is more mana efficient to play the Bugler. So I'm going to do that. Exclusion Mage seems okay. It was Exclusion Mage, Quasiduplicate, Quasiduplicate. Not horrible, but okay, all on you. Yeah, it normally is, Steven. It normally is. Yes, we did get mana screwed pretty hardcore. Barry's right. All right, he reveals over Jade Light Ranger. He dumped a Jade Light Ranger. Revealed Phyrexian Scriptures. Okay. I feel good about getting Jade Light under Nixon's Binding, even though I'm a little bit worried about Vivian Reed popping it or something. I don't know. This might be okay. I mean, he pitched Jade Light, Seeker Squire. He left a Shaper's Sanctuary on top of his deck. Alright, so now we can actually play some stuff, right? I need this Phyrexian Scriptures to come down before we actually play the Bishop of Rebirth. So I'm going to go with Idanto. And Exclusion Mage, because I want to keep pushing damage, right? I really want to keep pushing damage. But after the Phyrexian Scriptures part happens, we're going to have Bishop of Rebirth to start getting our Exclusion Mages back from the graveyard, to be able to remove, like, bounce whatever he's got in his hand back. So Exclusion Mage and Bishop of Rebirth seems pretty good. That seems pretty bad for us. That seems pretty bad. We're still We're still doing it. I really don't want to play this Bishop of Rebirth, guys. Like, it... I'm not going to play the land either. I'm holding the land for quasi-duplicate play. Okay. Opponent's got so many cards in hand. Alright, so as far as the way the turns work out, if we Bishop of Rebirth, right, and he doesn't just kill it, then he Phyrexian Scriptures, but we'll get to swing. Okay, so let me read Rebirth for you guys, right? It has Vigilance, it's a 5 mana 3/4. But when it attacks, you may put a return target creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So I am going to go ahead and play it, expecting to lose it to a Phyrexian Scriptures in just a couple turns. Yeah, we put 2 quasi-duplicates on the bottom with our Militia Bugler a moment ago. But anyway, so this is going to get us 3 mana or less creatures back. Again, I'm expecting this Phyrexian Scriptures to happen any moment now. When that does happen, though, we will have gotten off at least one swing. Never mind. Never mind anything I was saying. It was all shot. Just gone. Gone. 4-turn clock, buddy. But I'm going to have to give you, like, all the cards in the world along the way. Right? What do we have to lose? Well, the hope was that, like, if he was just going to kill us with Phyrexian Scriptures, that we would just get it back with Wildgrowth Walker on top. Oh, he banned a Wildgrowth Walker. He banned Wildgrowth Walker. What kind of position you got to be in to bend a Wildgrowth Walker? Ooh, this doesn't actually target him. Oh, just give me quasi-duplicate off the top, please. Like, since that didn't target, that meant that we didn't have to like let him draw a card off the Shaper Sanctuary. You think he has 3 Jadelight Rangers in hand? He can't. One's in the graveyard, one's under an Ixalan's Binding, but he could definitely have a second one. One of his could be Gruesome Menagerie. Gruesome Menagerie, that's an interesting card. Alright, here's the Phyrexian Scriptures we was talking about. He's going to bounce Seeker's Squire. Or we're going to bounce Seeker's Squire, I mean. Yes, I know that means we lose Exclusion Mage. But we put him at 1. As if that was enough. Alright. Here we go. Wipes the board. We'll pay 4 life. He destroys all non-artifact creatures. He's got 6 cards in hand. Like, 1 is not 0? No, it's not. 1 is not 0. So we are a long way from killing him. Right? Like, why wouldn't he just take the Wildgrowth Walker and... Well, I mean, okay, we have a Jadelight Ranger under Ixalan's Binding. Just saying. Like, maybe that's the part everybody's not understanding, but he can't play Jadelight until he finds a way to destroy the Ixalan's Binding. So. Here we go. For all the marbles. Did we take all the marbles? Come on. Vraska's Contempt. It's good stuff, opponent. Good stuff. Madness is just die already. Just die, opponent, die. You ever watch Twitch, Madness? You sound like Thundermo Hellkite. Just die already. This pops. Oh man, this is gonna be. It just gets worse. It gets worse and worse. Not a huge fan of Twitch. Oh man, not a Twitch fan. You're getting salty over here. This is what happens when you play against Golgari, ladies and gentlemen. Take your favorite jank deck up to F&M at your local LGS or your LGS and enjoy getting crushed by Golgari. Yippee-ki-yay! Right? Yippee-ki-yay. If you're Bruce Willis, we've got to add another word to that. Golgari just has that ability to stabilize and win from way back. Yeah, it does. It's definitely got that ability. Uh-oh. He's got his beat 30 seconds on the clock, too. Guess what? He's got a... Oh! And he's going to cast Find. Which gets back to Wild Growth Walker. Which I can't believe that he didn't cast... Our opponent. Oh, opponent. So, opponent just punted, like, super hard right there, right? He did have J-Light in hand. But if he would have used... Like, if he would have cast the J-Light, right? Or, sorry, popped and got the Wild Growth Walker back, or played the Wild Growth... Like, used the Wild Growth Walker, cast the Wild Growth Walker, then pop the thing to get the J-Light Ranger, he would have gained a lot more life. It was just such a better... Like, the opponent had so much... Like so many more... I can't even talk. That's how upset I am at how bad the opponent just played. And yet, he is still just crushing us. Ugh. Vinny G09. Good deck you have there, sir. Very good deck. Okay. Alright. Yeah. He could have Memorial forever ago to get Walker back. Yeah, I right. Like, he had so many options. Yeah. You're like, I'm using it. I'm using my icon. My emoji. Remember, guys, if you guys want to get those emojis, check us out here on YouTube Gaming. And if you join as a member, which is kind of like a Twitch sub, if you join as a member, you'll have access to, you know, the green name tag and all the emojis. And yeah, anything else we do as far as like private streams that may or may not happen in the future. I mean, it's not a horrible hand, guys. Like, seems as good as anything else. I mean, we're going like Adonto into bouncing their stuff, into locking down their drakes. Like, it seems good. Like, it's an is-it deck. Like, if we get this on a Drake, like, there's like 9 creatures in the deck we've got to worry about. So, oh, never mind. There's 1 creature in the deck we got to worry about. And his name as Niv-Mizzet. And they called him Niv-Mizzet. You're actually rebuilding Dev's Mono Black Burn and replacing Golden Demise with Ritual Soot, Chanters with Eldest Reborn, and Icy Manipulator with Plague Crafter. Those all seem like very solid upgrades. Those seem like really solid upgrades, Rocker. You should put like upgraded Mono Black Burn on the Twitch. Like, was I supposed to, like, not swing into that silhouette? Am I supposed to Exclusion Mage right here just to get down the Exclusion Mage? Something tells me to just play the Exclusion Mage to play the Exclusion Mage. That we're playing against Niv-Mizzet, and we need him to burn through his cards anyway. So, like, I don't want him, like, I want him to burn a Deafening Clarion on just a solo Exclusion Mage. That would be great. No, the Bishop only gets creatures. Creatures only. We found our first Ixalan's binding target. You can have a Nexus of Fate. I'd rather him take an extra turn to just draw a card than to have a... Oh, see, that's good. That's good. Alright, let's do this. Ixalan's binding. We'll hit Karn. We have to save the other Ixalan's binding for Niv-Mizzet. We wouldn't bind Karn, you would just kill it. I don't know if we can get away with that. My goodness. There went the Ixalan's binding on Niv plan. Alright, let's see what happens. Otherwise, like, if this doesn't resolve, then I have to actually put resources towards alright, that's not horrible. That's not horrible at all. Like, so the reason I did that in main phase was because, like, if the binding didn't resolve, I was going to actually have to put, like, the Exclusion Mage to try to punch down Teferi to start, like, to keeping him down, right? So now he's got, like, maybe one copy of Niv-Mizzet in his main board. Seeing the Karn and everything, like, this just looks like the French Jeskai deck. Like, doesn't that have Karn in it? I think it does. And if it is, it only has, like, one, maybe two main board Nibs. Alright, so we'll get a Warkite Marauder down. At least we have more of a threat going, so. Thrashed him with 4 Radiant Destinies on the field. See, he just paid 7 mana to draw a card. Right? Like, that's not the scariest thing in the world. I mean, we got kind of Niv-Mizzet answers. Settle. Seal away. Come seal away. Come seal away. Come seal away with me. Maybe I should have played the Tempest Scholar. Is this Niv? Nope, just another Nexus of Fate. Okay. What is that? 6 mana draw card? 7 mana draw card? 7 mana draw card? And then just pass. I love it. Okay. You think one of his last cards is like Teferi? I mean, he's only got one card left in hand. Could it be Teferi? I mean, this will speed the clock up a lot right here. There won't be a triggered ability. If he doesn't have something like a spell to cast afterwards, we're in a, like Bishop of Binding is not an instant or sorcery, so there will not be a trigger for him to put on the stack. So as long as he doesn't have another card, then we're good. The Vigilance here is really nice. Plays around Seal Away. Just get our Exclusion Mage back, which is just more value. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. I kind of feel like I have to add a little bit more power to the battlefield, just to be threatening lethal next turn. Because we know he's just been like worried about. He's had this just one card in his hand, which I feel is a Teferi. Draw your cards, opponent. Draw your cards. Yeah, Bishop doesn't trigger Niv, exactly. And where do you go from here, opponent? Yeah, I think this is the French Jeskai control deck. Aww. Come on, Ralzeric. That's not cool. That's not cool. It's kind of mean, even. I mean, I'm going to kill Ralzeric, though. There's not a lot he can do about that unless he decides he wants to settle me. Okay, this is the one from the opponent just told me that this was the invitational deck. It's not the French deck, but they're fairly similar. I'm going to go for Ralzeric. Like, we can't kill him this turn anyway, so I'm going to put 2 cards at Ralzeric just in case that last card is some way to stop one of my dudes. It would break my heart for him to just all of a sudden, like, be able to... Ooh, can't do that. For him to be able to... like stop it, and then his Ralzeric's good, and then he gets to draw a card. The opponent said that we were really good at getting those bindings through, and then he scooped up on us, right? So, all right, we do not beat Golgari, but against old Jeskai, not bad, not bad, not very cash money of you, Ral, right? Ral, man. He's the bad guy here, right? All right, guys. That's going to do it for Dev's deck. As far as, like, my feedback on this deck, drop the white and play black. I think the black version of the deck, the blue black deck, is pretty sweet. Like that's where I want to be. I'm not a big fan of like the Vampire Sovereigns and stuff like that in it, but if you want to play blue white, first off, I think you're putting yourself at a little bit of a disadvantage for being in colors that are not fully supported right now as far as a mana base goes. So you're stuck with these meandering rivers, which kind of like we even had a couple draws that were a little funky and some hands that we wasn't really in a good position to keep because of meandering river, and that's going to happen to you. So you are going to take a couple points in your consistency by having Mirandering. Having this card, right? Like this is going to cost you a couple points in consistency, but next month, whenever the next set comes out, you'll be able to replace that, and then you'll be fine. Don't cut the baffling ends in the current meta. Don't cut them. They're great. They're a great card. They deal with everything Jade Light and under, right? Which is a lot. Still leave champions, because there's in your local gaming stores, there's still going to be that mono green stompy player. There's so many people that hit me up with, but mono green stompy. Understood. If you want to like shut those dudes up, just play Lava Coil and you'll be fine. But Baffling End's really, really good. I think it's in a better spot than even cards like Seal Away are, as most of the things that you're really worried about, popping are low to the ground. So I kind of like Baffling End. I think it's in a really good spot. They don't have to turn things sideways for Baffling End. If you wanted to run Seal Away, yeah, you could do that. Am I going to say that there's going to be some points where you're going to get things that are more than 4 converted mana costs that you really want to Baffling End? Maybe. But, there's also going to be some points where things don't turn sideways and you can be like, haha, yeah, but I can Baffling End it. And you'll be happy with it. So, that's one way to go with it. Adanto Vanguard, I like this in the deck. I like Militia Bugler. I think if you're going to be doing Quasiduplicate, like that's kind of what you want to be doing. Tempest Collar seems like it might be a better sideboard card. So if I was going to make like a direct change immediately, I would just bring in the extra Exclusion Mage. Like Exclusion Mage seemed really, really good. And then if you could fit more wizards in the deck, that would be great. But, having a couple extra wizards in the deck would mean that you could replace your negates with, just the wizard's control spell, Wizard's Retort. And that's actually a better spell in general, just because it can deal with everything. But you need to have a wizard down before it's a better spell. Otherwise, it's just strictly worse. So that's kind of a toss-up there. So Dev mentioned in his deck that, okay, so that's where I was going, Chris. Dev mentioned in his deck that he wanted to have some room for some dive downs or something like that in the deck. And I think that if you're going to go that route and you want to have ways to like protect the Bishop of Binding and stuff like that, then you might want to go with Siren Stormtamer over dive down. Siren Stormtamer would also increase your wizard count. And trust you me, guys, you do not need that many copies of wizards to make that spell good. It's really, really good, and with 12 wizards in the deck, you could probably pull it off when you needed to. So you'd be able to run a true counter in the sideboard. Disdainful Strokes, really good in the sideboard. Negates, still really good. I'm not a big fan of the Tempest Collar. Not a big fan of all of the Bishops of Rebirth. We did get to use Bishop of Rebirth, and it was a lot of fun. So I would, if I was going to make cuts on it, I would probably cut a Bishop of Rebirth, and I would go for another Ixalan's Binding. I think Ixalan's Binding is in a really good spot. And then, of course, if you wanted to add even more value to the deck, maybe something other than Bishop of Binding. I don't like this card. I don't like 4 mana 1/1s. Not in a Niv Mizzet world, guys. I know it doesn't trigger Niv Mizzet, but I mean, they just go opt, kill it. Like, no man, I'm not real fond of a 4 mana 1/1. So like the first cut that I would make in this deck was this Bishop would be gone. Like if I was going to, like if somebody handed me this deck and said, hey, take it to F&M, like my first first thing I would do would probably just by changing the cards themselves, just sideboarding and things like that, I would probably just bring in the Knights of Grace over the Bishop of Bindings. I'd run my Baffling Ends, my Ixalan's Bindings, and just kind of go from there. You could do more counter spells in the sideboard. You could do you know, a whole bunch of different things. A couple of little artifacts or something like that might be handy. So there's a lot of different ways you can go with it, but that's some advice from me. After playing the deck, after feeling like, okay, like where does this card line up against the decks that I'm playing? And for the record, we played against Golgari a couple times there, and we did not want Bishop of Binding. Like, there was just nothing that we wanted to put under it that would give us a huge enough buff to make it worth swinging the next turn. Like, you're going to get a 2-power dude or a 1-power guy under it. I would rather just have 4 copies of Seal Away here in the sideboard to bring in more enchantment-based removal. Other than that, though, that's kind of my feedback on this deck. The deck was fun. I like copying creatures. We did not have an opponent that wanted to kill the creatures we were trying to copy, so like we didn't have to get into any of that. But do be wary when you are playing Quasiduplicate. You know, they remove your target, you're gonna have a bad day. That's all I got. That's all I've got, ladies and gentlemen. I had a lot of fun. I hope you had fun. We're going to take a quick 15-minute break. I'm going to change everything over. We're going to come back up. We're going to do about an hour, maybe hour and a half of arena. Play out the day's quest and that sort of thing. Maybe another event or something like that. I don't know. We'll play something. Probably a lot of best of ones and stuff like that. So be a lot of fun either way. But if you guys want to join us, you can. And that's all I got. Barry Drake, thank you, sir. Thank you for watching. And I appreciate you coming to hang out, laughing at all the boys in chat here and ladies and whatever they want to call themselves. Laughing at the chat people. Yeah. Direct challenge. Well, I do direct challenges. I mean, sure. Sure. You want to crush me on stream, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, we're just going to hang out. Like, my arena videos, I don't know what else to do with arena other than try to hang out with the community and have some fun with the community. Like, that's all I've got. Like, I don't think that like, I don't know where we're going to be. Like, arena is just so foreign that I don't think we can do much other than just have fun and hang out with the community. I don't really have all the cards to be able to just play any and every deck. So, you know, I don't have that option available, but yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing some community streams and stuff. So, let's say 11:20 Pacific time. Well, I'll have the stream back up. That'll give me a little over 15 minutes to get everything changed over, as long as I quit talking now. As the stream boss, you want to try to get a direct challenge against me. You got Arena Madness? I will play you in Tier 1 Jank, both. We'll have some fun like that. Brandon Hall, man hasn't spoke in like 2 months. We start talking about Arena and he's like, remember me? Remember me? Brandon here loves Arena, guys. Loves Arena. Your Esper deck is still in progress. Gotcha. Okay, so we're doing... I guess we're going to be doing pack openings for Barry Drake as well. So we're going to see what we got. Alright, Barry. I'll get everything pulled over. We will do some pack openings. We'll see what we get. We'll make a night of it. So give me 15 minutes, 17 minutes, and we'll get back up. Did I say Pacific? I meant Central. I meant Central. 11:20 Central Time. Yeah. Man. Yeah, okay. I just butchered that. 15 minutes from now, okay, guys? 15 minutes. Gotta go, otherwise we'll never get this thing up and going. Alright, I'll be back in 15 here on YouTube. Alright, we'll be back.